Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's remote trade show on electric pressure cooker. My name is Dennis Onono, and I'm a senior consultant at the Global Distributors Collective. This is the first of two virtual product trade shows on cook stoves. The second session is next week. We will look at improved biomass cook stoves specifically. So if you are interested and you haven't already registered for that session, you're welcome to come along, and we'll be able to post the link, the registration link for that specifically in the chat room. These two sessions follow the success of two previous trade shows that we co-hosted with Efficiency for Access in 2020 and in 2021 on various off-grid appliances. We're thrilled to be partnering with Efficiency for Access along with Clean Cooking Alliance and Modern Energy Cooking Services on today's and next week's trade shows on cook stoves. The session is supported by GET.invest, UK Aid, and IKEA Foundation. Next slide, please. Our partner and co-host, Efficiency for Access, will provide an overview of why we're here today and what we hope you will take away from this session. We'll then hear a rapid presentation from 7 manufacturers and round it off with Q&A. So we're really excited about that session. If you have questions as we go along, please send them via chat. And whatever we don't answer at this time today because of time limitations, we'll collect and share with the manufacturers to respond to in the follow-up. So why are we here today? Our 2022 State of the Sector report found that 43% of the GDC members currently sell cook stoves and or fuels. And there's a strong interest from GDC members in learning more about these products. Increasingly, there are resources, catalogs, and databases emerging to help distributors identify products and suppliers in this space, some of which we'll share with you in follow-up to this session. But there remains an information gap, particularly regarding some areas where we know particularly important to last mile distributors, which we'll get into. We got a lot of interest from manufacturers in trying to connect with our members, but it can be difficult for us to broker these connections. We don't want to overwhelm our GDC members with communication, but we also have an obligation to maintain neutrality and not to endorse particular products or suppliers. So today is an attempt of addressing this information gap. I'll now hand over to Ellie Wagner from Efficiency for Access to tell us more. Ellie, over to you.
Thanks, Dennis, and hi everyone. As Dennis said, my name is Ellie Wagner. I work for Energy Saving Trust, which is the co-secretariat of the Efficiency for Access Coalition. So I'm going to quickly take you through why we're here today, why we chose our manufacturers, and then why we're focusing on electric pressure cookers specifically. So on the screen, you can see the manufacturers that we'll be hearing from today. And we just wanted to tell you that, you know, the cook stove world is really big, and there's a real increasing number of electric pressure cookers or EPC products coming onto the market. So please note that today's trade show is not meant to be exhaustive. It's just kind of a little flavor of what's on offer. So we reached out to all the companies that we knew of that were selling electric pressure cookers kind of in our network and asked them about their products in relation to factors that we know are important to last mile distributors. So for example, country availability, support services provided, T's and C's kind of regarding credit terms, warranties, that sort of thing. And all the manufacturers that expressed an interest and met this criteria were invited to participate. So 4 of them are Global Leap award winners and finalists, which come under the kind of Efficiency for Access umbrella. And unfortunately, one of the manufacturers couldn't make it today, but we will share their information with you in a follow-up after this call. And I saw a question in the chat about slides being available. We'll send through the recording and slides as well, so no worries about kind of taking notes or anything. Just a quick kind of housekeeping thing. Today's presentations will be around 4 minutes each, and they are intended as an introduction, not a deep dive. We'll share with you the contact details of these manufacturers and the other manufacturers that express an interest in participating in a follow-up, so that you can kind of reach out to them independently. And also just to note, as Dennis mentioned, there'll be a Q&A at the end as well if you want to ask any questions. So next slide, please. So just a quick overview about why we've chosen electric pressure cookers to focus on today. So electric pressure cookers, or EPCs, will be using those two kind of interchangeably. They're highly efficient and they have the potential to improve and expand access to clean cooking. And there's 2.6 billion people, unfortunately, who rely primarily on polluting cooking fuels. So women and children are tasked with the arduous work of collecting firewood and cooking, and often bear the brunt of health issues, especially things like lung diseases when they're cooking with biomass. So EPCs are a real great alternative from a health point of view, as well as a sort of use point of view. EPCs can actually perform multiple cooking operations, including steaming, boiling, pressure cooking, frying, and baking. They cook food faster and use less energy than other e-cooking technologies, and they use a combination of insulation, high temperature, and pressure to basically accelerate this cooking time. And they also reduce heat loss. So they actually use about one fifth of the energy of a hot plate to cook foods, so they're a really, really great alternative. Energy efficient cooking appliances are actually particularly valuable when preparing long simmering dishes and kind of staple meals in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia, such as rice, beans, and meat stew. They can also be used at a community level, so multiple customers can kind of share an EPC, use it at different times, lease it together. So MEX, who are one of the partners, Modern Energy Cooking Services, who worked with us on this trade show, I think Nick's watching today, their research found that EPCs fit well with kind of loads of different countries' cooking cultures, and they're versatile enough to mean that households only need to buy kind of one device, which is really great, rather than having to buy loads. So it kind of adds to that affordability element as well. We had some preliminary insights from the Global Leap Awards and this results-based financing program that we held in Kenya, which kind of looked at the motivations that customers might have to use EPCs. So 80% of them said it was to save time, 30% to cook different foods, 27% to reduce spending, 26% to reduce exposure to smoke, and 2% to generate income. So we obviously want to raise awareness around the kind of income generating side of things, but it's really great that people are really aware of the kind of time saving and versatility of EPCs. Speaking of kind of raising awareness, I think there's a common misconception that EPCs can often be unaffordable. At the moment, you know, there's kind of a high upfront cost to purchase the appliance when compared to biomass stoves, but as we've seen, due to efficiency levels and how versatile they are, operation costs are significantly cheaper, and we're kind of seeing an increasing amount of different consumer financing options like leasing, and then integrating pay-as-you-go into the kind of EPCs as well, which has been really helpful from an affordability point of view. So enough from me. We're going to hand over to our wonderful EPC manufacturers. As I mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or I will be taking some afterwards. If you have a specific question for a specific manufacturer, please address your question to them. And yeah, so our first manufacturer is Alfla. So Yash, I will hand over to you.
Hi, Ali. Thank you so much. So, hi everyone. You can see this. I'm director of Alfla, and Alfla is into manufacturing of EPC from 2019, and we are only specialized in making of the EPC. So right now we are the first manufacturer in India, and you can say actually all over the world, because right now EPCs are only made in China, Rest, no one is making the EPC right now. So we are the second manufacturer all over the world. So it's our first manufacturing unit in India. Second, OFLA products are all BI certified. BI certified are the certified standards given by the Indian government. So our product is tried and tested here. So as you all know that OFLA has won as OFLA is won as the best energy performance cooker all over the world. So by the Global Leap Award. So we received this award in 2020, which was been supported by UK Aid and MECS. So our energy consumption, according to the data given by Global Leap Award, is just 0.4 unit for using of an hour. So if you see in the money terms, it is just nothing. So as Ellie said, that it's sure that for at the time of purchase, your cost will be a bit high, but when you use it, then your cost goes down because you won't consume much electricity in this. So specification, what different we are giving from the Chinese manufacturer, any manufacturers, what difference we are giving is the outer shell of the cooker. We are giving that in SS304 stainless steel sheet, which no one gives, plus that is 0.6 mm of thickness. So it's a total rough and tough product. So even if it falls down or something, there won't be any dent or something, anything like that. Second thing is it comes with a surge protection. So that is if your voltage fluctuation is from 220 to 240 volts, this is I am talking according to the Indian standards. So if it's from 220 to 240, it can sustain that. The third thing is our EPC comes in different sizes. So all the country have their specific requirements and sizes. So we have in 3 to 12 liters, and we make the customization according to the customer needs. Our EPC, so the thing is the inner pot. Inner pot right now, what everyone is taking is aluminum non-stick inner pot. Actually, that is technically not good for health, because what happens is after a few months of usage, the coating and everything of the inner pot comes out, which actually gets mixed with the food, and that harms our body as a human being. So that is why we have developed a SS304 pot, that's a stainless steel, and the tri-ply is the base is tri-ply material. So what happens is your food even won't stick in that. So many people have that fear that if we are using SS304, so the food will stick in that, but in this, no, it won't stick. The fourth thing is all our EPC are equipped with overheat protection and high pressure protection system. These are the main 2 points what I am highlighting, because these are the main things because of which any incident or anything can happen. So EPC is protected with that.
Yash, you're coming up to your time, so I suggest if you wrap up with your final few points.
Okay. Our menu options and food options can be customizable according to the consumer needs. Can you just go to the next slide? Yeah, thank you. So we can ship to any country from India. We are situated in Pune in Maharashtra. So our nearest port is Nhava Sheva port in Mumbai. Payment terms will be 30-70 that we can talk on. So we need 35 to 40 days for the production. For the warranty, we provide 1 to 2% of spare parts. And we train your engineers through online training. So in which we give all the error codes and everything, and what all should be changed if any problem is or anything. We accept at least minimum order of 1,000 pieces, and we do also OEM manufacturing according to your brands or anything. And as I mentioned that after successful business relationship, then we can talk on LOC and etc. all that things. So for the prices and everything, we'll get in touch on email or by call or WhatsApp or anything, and there we can discuss everything, because all the prices and everything depends on the specifications and what liters you take and everything.
Sorry to cut you off, Yash. I think we're going to have to move on.
Well, thanks, Charlotte. Yes. Also, we will share everyone's contact details, so you can contact Yash afterwards. Thank you so much, Yash. We're going to move on now to Group Seb. So Anna, off you go.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Anna, part of the Group Seb. I am here today with Pauline Ferrier, my colleague. So I will introduce Group SEB in a nutshell. We are the world reference in small domestic equipment. We've got leadership position in more than 23 countries on all continents. We sell our products in more than 150 countries, and we've got 32 brands in our portfolio. 4 of them are international. In addition to that, we've got 65 years of expertise in fast cooking. The Group SEB first pressure cooker was launched in 1953. Today, we are producing 8 million EPCs per year, and our commitment is to deliver performance, qualitative, and safe products. To ensure that all our EPCs comply with the directives and standards in force in Europe as part of the CE marking. For this, we have test reports and certificates of conformity for consumer safety. Concerning the different support we can provide, we have a dedicated after-sales services department taking care of training and spare parts supply for our partners. All our products are repairable for 15 years, and we provide spare parts at the right price. On top of that, we have a dedicated marketing team able to provide training elements to support sales. To give you an example, we are currently working on POS elements such as recipe leaflet in partnership with Chiconi Magic, and even a recipe book in partnership with MEX, similar to the Kenya e-cookbook, to facilitate the adoption and the usage of the EPC for the consumer. The product that you see here has been specifically developed for low-income population with the aim to provide qualitative EPC at an affordable price. Concerning its characteristics, it's a 6-liter capacity. We wanted it simple to use, so the interface has one single knob with which is a mechanical timer. The suggestions of dishes have also been adapted. These ones are in Swahili English, so that it better highlights local habits. The bowl is made of aluminum and has a non-stick robust coating, and it's 1000 watt EPC. There are 2 cooking modes: the pressure cook with the lid on, stir fry with the lid open. There is also a switch warm mode during which the EPC adapts automatically the temperature. As explained previously, this EPC is totally safe to use thanks to the quality checks 8 on this product. The consumer does not put himself or herself in danger while using the product because there is absolutely no contact with the steam thanks to the button on top of the lid that you press to evacuate the steam. And there is also no possibility to open the lid until our pressure is released. It's also easy to clean because all parts that can be cleaned are detachable. Next slide, please. So now concerning the distribution, we have a global presence for traditional trade with a well-established distribution channel in 34 African countries. Still, we have a flexible model and launch plan. There are 2 options of distribution for this specific project. So either going through our local business partners with no minimum order quantities, or by doing direct imports if the minimum order quantities are respected and if the partner has an expertise in imports. You can see all the logistic details on the slide. Of course, terms and conditions will depend on the model selected, but as we didn't have much time today to go into details, feel free to contact us afterwards to find out more. So for this specific project, we have decided to launch sales in Kenya first, where we will test a new distribution model through microcredit players. Once the success of this model is confirmed, we want to extend it to other countries, mainly in East Africa. Thank you for your attention.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Anna, and literally second perfect timekeeping. So thank you so much. Up next, we have Nastec. So Aloy, off you go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aloy Zinemoka. I work for a company called Inesaltech, and I'm happy also to give a presentation in this trade show. Next slide, please. Actually, our electric pressure cooker has a model S1578. This electric pressure cooker has been a globally powered 2020 finalist. Its rated voltage is AC 220 volts, 50 hertz. The power and capacity are 60 liter and 1000 respectively. It complies with CE and BSEN 12778-2000, which is a British standard. The way to control it is just through a computer LED display. And the material that makes this EPC that the inner port actually, it weighs 480 grams. The heating plate is 450 grams. The outer shell is 0.37 millimeter. The middle layer is 1 millimeter. The steel cover is 0.9 millimeter. The double spray no steel coating is just 580 grams 60 liter. And then the inner support is just aluminum. So these EPC are currently available in Rwanda and Tanzania. That's where we have distribution channels. And we can ship anywhere in the world. And when we ship anywhere in the world, then the voltage will change depending on the voltage system of the country to ship to. And the payment we accept actually is we accept the 50% upfront and the balance before shipment. The FOB price, there is no secret, is 55 USD per piece. We offer a warranty of 1 year against any manufacturing defects. And the product comes with a manual that trains the user about its operation. Also, if the user is not aware, if a distributor faces a difficulty in terms of technical support to the appliances based on the manual, we still support the distributor through our calls so that they can be able to support their end users. Thanks very, very much. Next will be the contacts, which will be on the next slide. I think everyone will be able to go to next slide, please. Would you move to the next slide?
The contact details are on the blue.
Okay. So that's all about what I can present today. I will be waiting for any questions during the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thanks, Alois. Perfect. Up next, we have Kato from Power Up.
Yes, hello, everyone. I am Kato, CEO of Power Up. Power Up is a clean tech development company based here in Kampala, Uganda. What we do is we focus on building technology that will drive the use of clean fuels and efficiency and move people away from dirty fuels and inefficient products. We do all our research, our product requirements and engineering here in Kampala, and we build our product out of China. We can go to the next slide, please. Our first product is electric pressure cooker that's really focused on driving behavioral change. So people use as much of their cooking on electricity. We do have several unique features in our pressure cooker. One being the user interface is very easy to use. We have a dial for people who are not familiar with reading buttons and using those buttons. And the LCD screen has symbols to represent what is happening with the pot, that it's cooking, that it's under pressure, and how much time is remaining. One thing that's unique you'll see is that we track the energy that's being consumed. So on the top left, you see the kilowatt hours are being tracked as the device is cooking. So we do this to prove to people that cooking with electricity is actually cheaper than cooking with charcoal or even with gas. And so what we do is we try to educate the distributors to show people how much kilowatt hours they're using, and they can calculate how much in their local currency they've spent on the cooking. We have other features like data tracking. So we track a lot of the data of how the device is being used. This is so we can help improve the product. It can help with diagnostics for the distributor to understand how the product is being used or any issues. We also use this if the distributor is interested in working on a carbon credit program, so they can take this information and prove that the device has been used. Other advanced features include pay-as-you-go. The device has pay-as-you-go built in. We have a current integration with Angaza. We're integrating now with Open PayGo token. So you also have access to PayG Ops, and UPIA as well. We'll go to the next slide, please. So on the next slide, we'll talk a little bit more about the business terms and other offerings we have. We are able to ship our product to anywhere in Africa. We currently have products shipped to Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and we have orders going to Ghana and Zambia. Our payment terms is that we request for a deposit to start production, and the balance has to be paid before they're shipped out to their respective country. Right now, we're quoting $60 per unit, FOB China terms, but this is negotiable based off volume and based off carbon credit arrangements, and those are unique to every customer we talk to. So we have to go to in-depth conversations about what carbon can look like. Additional services we provide is marketing material. So we do a lot of cooking tests, a lot of research on different African countries here in office. And so we try to provide some templates of marketing material, templates of cooking instructions. We offer custom branding if needed. And we also provide a lot of training on cooking, product support in terms of extracting data, in terms of carbon credit data management, as well as support on the PayGo integrations.
So you are coming up to time. If you just want to cover the key points, thank you.
Sure. Mainly, we offer a one-year warranty, and our products have IEC certification, and we're getting VERF certification soon. So looking forward to speaking with all of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Kato. Perfect. Up next, we've got Shukuru from Sescom.
Yes, good morning, everyone. This is Shukuru Mena from Sescom. Yeah, next slide, please. Yes, our products, actually, Sescom is doing a number of business activities. You can see we do some kind of installation of solar PV systems, but also construction of mini grids, but we also promote some kind of productive use of energy. We install some kind of solar water pumps, but the value addition technologies. But we are promoting the use of efficient electric pressure cooker. As you can see on your right side, the pressure cooker, the accessories that are coming with the product, but also the product is supplied with non-stick pot. Our experience in the clean cooking sector is about 5 years now, and we have our own brand, which is Sescom. The model is MYCJ601W, as you can see. And this product is imported from China. And to us, the experience showed that you can take up to 8 days from the day you make your order up to the time that you receive the product here in Dar es Salaam. And the specification of our product, actually, we are currently working with the 6 liters size. But the other specifications of this product is it has 100 watts, 1000 watts in capacity, and the electricity that can be used with this product is 120 up to 140 volts and 50 to 60 hertz. The product is of high efficient because you can see in your right side, it was actually awarded the Global Award certificate, which was in year 2020. We are very happy or grateful to CLASP and MEX to support all the process that led into achieving this award. What are the features this product has? First one, the product is of high efficiency, as I said earlier. It is well insulated and the efficiency is more than 8.5%. But it is robust and durable. The outer part of the product is very durable, and it is more safe. It has more than 14 safety features, which help the users to be safe when it's using. But the product is also a multi-cooker one. You can do some boiling, you can do steaming, you can bake, but also you can fry. And it has an automatic control knob, which is a rotary one. And this one allows the users to be very comfortable when they use. Next slide, please. Yeah, the product, the way we distribute these products, actually we have a number of sales agent network. This could be individual, cooperative, but also there are some microfinance institutions. The terms depends on the number of the pressure cookers someone is taking or the area where he's distributing. But there are a few who come as the office, but also at our selling centers in 3 regions to buy the pressure cookers. The service that we offer, actually, we provide the after-sale services to the last mile users, the normal customers. We provide them the spares, we repair, but also they maintain the EPC. As you can see in the bottom, there are a number of spare parts which we provide. We train them how to use the EPC so that they can be comfortable, but they can also undertake some minor troubleshooting. And we also give them the user guide manual, which is actually translated in Swahili so that they can easily follow the use. And the distributors, sales agent, actually, we promote, we give them the promotion material, but the marketing material, like leaflet and the brochure, you can see at the right side, we have the leaflet, which is a number of food which can be cooked by pressure cooker, the time, but also the cost that the customer can incur. They get the product at a discounted price, which is actually good for the business. And we train them and give them enough information, because if you don't have enough information for the product, then the confidence is very low. So with the information we give, it builds the confidence to them. The Sescom pressure cooker, actually, it has been gone wide at the national level.
You're nearly at time, so if you could wrap up, please.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
We have reached 14 regions, and the product has also been sold in the neighboring countries. And the future opportunities actually is to expand the market, but also to diversify to other pressure cookers, large size, and also to explore on how we can fit in the PayGo system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Up next, we've got Joe from Slagio. So off you go, Joe.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Joe from Slagio. We are based in Hong Kong. You can go on to the next slide, please. Yeah, so you see our contact details there. The area code 852 is for Hong Kong, which, like I said, where we're based. And from Hong Kong, we have been a supplier to the off-grid solar sector for more than 10 years now. So we're probably one of the oldest suppliers to the off-grid solar sector. You can go to the next slide. So we are known for the high quality of our products and their energy efficiency. We were so well before the Global Leap Awards for the EPCs, we were actually a Global Leap Award finalist in 2014 for our solar LED TV, and we actually developed and shipped the first solar TV for the off-grid solar sector in 2013. And then in 2017-18, we were a Global Leap Award finalist for DC refrigerators. And then in 2020, the red electric pressure cooker is our 2.5 liter small EPC. So that was the Global Leap Award winner. And we also do offer a 6 liter unit with the same quality as our 2.5 liter unit, which is probably a more popular size. The products that we offer are under the Slagio brand, our own brand. The Better Water Maker is our UV water purifier, which is listed with the WHO. And then we also exclusively offer Energizer brand portable power units, which is the green unit you see beside the TV. And this is with integrated PayGo. Our business model is a social franchise business model. The reason we're following a franchise model is that we don't just want to ship you the products. And by the way, you can find details on both EPCs on our website because our time is limited. So I'm not getting to all of the technical details, but glad to do so for those interested. But just to share with you the franchise model, we're pursuing that because we don't just want to ship you products, but we want to make sure that the products that we do supply to you, such as our EPCs, that we are able to provide you then with the proper support so you can undertake appropriate after-sale services as necessary. And then we also want to support you with resources to be able to sell and market the product effectively, so you can grow your product sales. And then we want to support your business to grow as well, to sell EPCs as well as other products that you may be supplying to the local market. Okay. So I think I'll keep it short and sweet. Glad to hear from all of you after this event. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe. Great timing as well. And then last but not least, we've got Stuart from Village Infrastructure Angels. So Stuart, over to you. And then also pop your questions in the chat. I can see lots of activity.
Thanks very much. Good day, everybody. I'm from Stuart Crane from Village Infrastructure Angels, and I've been manufacturing products for the off-grid industry for about 20 years, starting with solar LED lights and later solar mills, with support from UK Energy Catalyst, now solar cookers, and with support from Efficiency from Access solar washing machines. So we have quite a wide range of different productive uses that might be of interest, but today is cooking. So we're introducing something a bit different. Ours is a 24 voltage DC 500 watt cooker. If you can move on to the first slide, thank you. It's got 8 litre capacity. I've got another version just here. And you can see a small difference between the front of that one and this one, which means that the automation panel for it is actually optional. So here I'm showing it in the manual method where you can just press cook or fry, which has 2 different temperature settings and is very simple, a bit like a rice cooker to use. And the automation panel is actually optional with a simplified user interface as well. I got confused with 15 buttons, so we reduced it down to 5. And you have accessories as well, spare inner pots and an insulation bag, as you can see. So you can steam veggies while you're cooking the rice, and you can put a pot of hot meat stew into the insulation bag. And as you can see from the graph on the right-hand side, that'll keep food warm for up to 6 to 8 hours, compared to going cold in under 2 hours if you don't have the insulation bag. And we have spare inner pots as well, so you can do multiple dishes with the one pot. It's as good as keeping it in the pot itself in terms of insulation. Next slide, please. There's 2 different ways one can work with this sort of product. One is direct drive, where you don't have any battery involved and you have a voltage regulator sitting between the solar panel and the pot, much like a solar water pump. And that will be cheaper, but the input will vary in terms of the amount of energy available. And so this is actually not a time-based automation system, but energy-based. So you give it how much energy you need to deliver to the food by telling how many kilograms and what type of food it is. And it will keep cooking until it hits an energy target, automatically varying the time if the power from the sun drops off. The other way is to include a battery, which is what we have at the moment. That can also, of course, run lights, TVs, fans, and other things like that. We have a 750 watt-hour lithium iron phosphate battery. And if you look at the cost of cooking in Kenya and many other countries, we see people paying 70 cents a day. That's about $250 a year. Over 10 years, that's $2,500. So we can deliver solutions for half or less of that price, and that's before carbon credit benefits as well. Cooking with solar electric cooking is about the only way you can do zero emission CO2 free cooking and get the maximum carbon benefits. Also, of course, zero emissions for indoor air pollution as well. So for commercial aspects, prices, warranties, and things like that, let's continue the conversation via email. So thanks very much.
Thanks so much, Stuart. And again, perfect timekeeping. So we're going to move on. We've got some time for questions. So if you have any questions either to a specific manufacturer or the group in general, please pop them in the chat. I can see that there's been a lot of questions already. So I'm just going to start with one from Rizma. They ask, a lot of excellent energy efficient cooking technologies, but why aren't we building the local manufacturing capacities? So open floor to any of our speakers today. Are you exploring local assembly and manufacturing? Have you done it before? Are there any plans to do so? And why or why not?
This is Joe from Salaja. I can take a stab at it.
Thanks, Joe.
We have a lot of experience with manufacturing. Most of our products are manufactured in China, but we have worked with companies overseas, for example, in India, where we've shipped product on what's called a knockdown basis, where a lot of the components may be from elsewhere, but then we know how to pack those components properly so they can be delivered to the overseas market for local assembly. So even in a market like India, which does have manufacturing, mobile phones, cell phones, a lot of the components come from overseas, but then get assembled in India. So it is possible to do manufacturing locally, but it requires a considerable assessment. And depends on also the infrastructure and resources that are available locally, because just setting up a factory is one thing, but you have to have access then to all of the materials and all of the resources in order to undertake manufacturing on a sustained basis, longer term, and be able to manufacture quality products locally. So there's a lot involved in doing so, but I'm glad to discuss with anyone interested in doing assembly locally in their markets.
Thanks, Joe. Yash, I saw you said that you are manufacturing in India. Could you possibly tell us a little bit about how you found that and kind of pricing and things like that and how it's affected it?
Pardon, I didn't get you.
I saw that you said that you were exploring local manufacturing options and manufacturing in India. So I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about that and kind of why you did decide to do it.
Okay. So, see, there is no offense or anything to any of the country or anything. Right now, we are manufacturing in India because India, in our leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they are getting good opportunities here. And we are the first manufacturer in India. So right now, we are already in talks with many Indian companies who want to come up with the EPCs for doing the OEM and everything. So they don't have any manufacturer EPC. Plus, we have an experience from 2019. We are just specialized in EPC. So manufacturing locally, then we got to know that we saved so many costs. Plus, even our, you can say, the cost is saved plus the transition time. So, for example, if I place an order in China right now, it will take 1 month for the manufacturing, 1 month for the transportation. The 2 months are gone. So, our cost, a big time and cost has been saved there. Plus, locally, we can manage everything for all the parts and everything. If there is any problem with any parts or anything, we can immediately arrange it here. So, making local is much more efficient and much more better. That is what I feel.
Perfect, thank you. I've got a question from Jakob here. I know, Stuart, you mentioned that you are using DC powered products, but to everyone else, Jakob said, it seems like most EPCs are only suitable for alternating current AC power supply. Have you considered DC powered products, which may be more suitable for an off-grid use? Or alternatively, is the power demand too high?
Maybe I can jump in and answer.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yes, we've considered it and have been very keen to do DC from the get-go. Who needs an inverter to send power somewhere at a higher voltage if you don't actually need it when solar is making DC, batteries as you making DC. I've seen many inverters in the last 20 years dead in remote areas with no ability to repair it. You need trained electricians to put in 240 volt AC. Low voltage DC is safe. Anybody can install it legally. So less components, less costs, more efficiency. It's a little bit difficult, with higher currents to tweak the design. Not many manufacturers are interested to make DC products. They don't see where the market is. But we think that long term there is quite an interesting market there. But these were all originally AC products, so we can make these in AC as well if required. But it seems as an engineer to me to be more efficient to look at DC if your power source is from solar DC. Obviously, if you're using the grid or the mini grid, it's sensible to make it from AC. But solar energy is probably the cheapest form of electricity on the planet at the moment.
Well, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Feel free to put your hand up or unmute yourself.
Well, I would just add to Stuart's comments. I think ultimately it's you know, you have to look at the product, the power source, and you know, and then the total cost of everything, and ultimately, as long as the business model is going to be workable, then okay, you know, go with DC or you know, whatever the best option. But it's important to consider you know, the entire picture. So it's not just having that DC product, but as Stuart was pointing out, then you know, then you have to consider you know, the solar power supply, the solar system that would be required, the cost for that, and so forth there. So whether AC or DC, but it's important to consider, you know, the whole system, I guess, is would be my commentary.
Well, thanks, Joe. Thibault asked a question, and it's a pretty hard one. Why don't most EPCs feature pay-go interfaces? Are products sold mostly upfront?
I can try to answer this question.
Perfect. Thanks, Kato.
Yes, I mean, obviously, integrating pay-go into the product does add more cost to the product. EPCs in general in Africa are just not well known, and there's not a high adoption rate yet. And so we're just in the beginning of the phase of really having more awareness of electric cooking. So the cost barrier is the biggest challenge, beyond convincing people that cooking with electricity is the best option for them. So I think right now there are a few manufacturers out there, you know, obviously on this call, and they're trying to get over that payment issue. Adding pay-as-you-go does add more cost, but obviously it gets spread over time. So I think it's just we're early in this in the EPC development phase, and we're going to see probably more options with time.
Well, thank you, and agreed. Last question, I think, and then we've got just some closing remarks and a couple of polls for you, which should hopefully be helpful for everyone. Jacob asks, as EPC manufacturers, do you conduct your own customer research in countries that your products are used in? For example, food preferences vary by country. So I was wondering how useful it is to have multiple buttons stating types of dishes that are not common in the given country. Could this possibly be confusing for the customer?
Well, I can jump in if that's okay. So there's the reason that you know, our business model is a franchise model, because it's going to be impossible, certainly with a product like an EPC, to have, you know, one product, one menu that's going to cover all the different cuisines that you might want to cook. And so our thinking is through our franchise model to engage with local partners, our franchisees, and through them to understand the requirements in the local market, and then to work with them collaboratively in order to, you know, and again, if we're supplying them with EPCs for their market, then to work with them collaboratively in order to, you know, ensure that it's the product is going to be able to prepare the dishes that might be popular in that market. So for just as an example, you know, I mentioned we have a 2.5 and 6 liter EPC. We work, for example, in the dairy sector in East Africa, and obviously with milk, then you can make yogurt. So we know that our 2.5 liter is not powerful enough to make yogurt, but our you know, 6 liter is, and then we could, you know, provide instructions on how to make yogurt, you know, using milk that might be available, you know, within the dairy value chains in East Africa, for example. You know, and so can work in a more targeted way that way. But it's impossible to provide, you know, one EPC that's going to serve everybody. But you know, I think you have to just cater to each individual market, each local partner, separately.
Thanks, Joe. And just to add, Stuart popped in to say that they have also been confused by the buttons, so they've minimized them to just 2 inputs, type of food, so rice, veg, meat, and the amount, so kilograms of it, just to put it in the pot and kind of make everything a bit simpler. Final question, and then Dennis, I'll hand back to you. This is from Marika. You say, how big does the local market have to be for a producer to have an interest in setting up a local production line? In other words, what do you think should be the minimum market size to set up a new production unit?
I can answer.
It's the Joe
No one
show
else
today.
has. Yeah, I don't think there's, I guess I have a problem with the question. I don't think there's a, minimum market size, because you kind of basically have to just do the basic analysis but as I was saying, even with the, product that you're selling, the business model has to work. So one, you just have to understand, even in setting up manufacturing locally, what are all the costs involved and everything in doing that, and is it going to be cost effective ultimately for you to manufacture your product at a cost that's going to be affordable in the local market? If it's not, then it's not going to be, even if the market is very large, but if the delivered cost of the product is going to be too high, you're not going to be able to serve the market. So it's not just looking at, okay, this is the minimum size of the market, and so it's going to work. There are many other factors that you have to consider.
I'd also say that it's beyond the size and the cost that Joseph mentioned, but it's also taxes. So the advantage of producing locally is that you avoid those import taxes. So you have to look at each country to see what are the current tax regime and what is the taxes for bringing in components for assembly. And also you have to see in the neighboring countries, are they allowing you to export within the region at favorable taxes or zero taxes, hopefully. So so you have to, there's a lot going on, but there's taxes is also a big part of it.
Thanks both. I think, oh yeah, Simon said many countries have a priority and subsidy for youth employment as well. I will pass back to you, Dennis.
Thanks, Ellie, and thanks everyone and our speakers for participating today and for a lively discussion. I hope everyone has had a good chance and has learned a little bit more about clean cooking, but definitely feel free to contact us after this session to learn more about it. There are also good resources that have been posted there, so feel free to also look at the chat, click on them, and then additional just to learn more. We definitely love to hear more how this session went, and we'd love your feedback. So we'd want to pull in some polls just for you to give us some feedback in regards to how this session went. And we're also keen to know, in terms for the polls that will come in, is which other products or topics you'd like to learn more of about in similar fashion for future product shows and webinars. And then over the next week, we will share you with the recordings, the slides from today, along with manufacturer contacts, details, and some more info on the catalogs and database that you might find useful. And please don't forget to come along next week to a similar manufacturer on specifically focusing on improved biomass stores.